Hello, everybody. My name is Arnold. I'm the head of customer success here at Colabi, and I'm excited to welcome you today on today's talk on something I'm very passionate about, which is making partner planning part of your team's DNA. So, I talk to sales leaders every day, and I keep hearing the same things that maybe you're dealing with too. Like, how do you make partner planning something your team thinks about every week, not just at the start of the year or when a new quarter comes around? Or how do you keep your partner team step up from being just transactional to becoming true strategic advisors? Or another big one, getting your team to be proactive with partners instead of just putting out fires. Does any of this ring a bell? If you're nodding your head right now, you're definitely in the right place because we've got some industry leaders today who are going to share their real world experiences and strategies on how they are embedding partner planning into their team's daily operations. So first up is our CEO and founder, Fried Petre, who with all the shakeups we're seeing in the partner landscape right now, like the waves of acquisitions and partner consolidation across the industry, we're seeing this in the tech industry, in the insurance industry as well. Fried is going to break down these market trends and show us how technology fits into this evolving picture. Then we have two speakers who are going to focus more on the people and the process changes that made them successful in their journey. First, we have Laurent Dollé, who is the head of global partner programs at Alcatel-Lucent Enterprises, who is managing a massive network of over 3,000 partners. So he really knows what his stuff when it comes to partner programs. We'll hear from him. We'll also hear from Mathieu Van Buyten from DELA Insurance Belgium, who is going to walk us through their fascinating transformation journey. And then we'll wrap it up with a Q&A where you can get your specific questions answered. There should be a chat button somewhere where you can put your questions because let's face it, questions are often the most valuable part. So don't hesitate to ask your questions during the presentations and we'll get to them at the end. But let's kick it off with Fried Petre, who is the CEO of Colabi and also the author of the book I have right here, the Partner Operating Model, which provides a framework to enhance your partnership strategies and drive success. Free will share some valuable insights on the evolving partnership landscapes and the role of technology in supporting those changes. Free, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arnold. Very excited to talk about this. And I'm just going to very briefly talk about a couple of trends because I think the most important thing is to listen to the gentleman and Mathieu and Laurent about their experiences, and they have been already coming a long way in upgrading their partner operating model. So it's a very valuable session here to listen to them what they've learned. So, but first off, if we take one step back. Then, well, basically what you see what happened from a technological point of view in direct sales already, like this is basically the adoption curve of how CRM had struggled in the initial days to install a methodology to help direct sales teams to become more predictable in their way of working. And Mark Benioff, founder of Salesforce, had a hard time to create enough adoption with their CRM system. And I think a lot of companies still today, they are struggling with CRM adoption, right? And you come from a world before CRM where everybody was just doing, account managers were doing stuff on their own. They had their own contact details, maybe were logging some items into Excel. But truly the gigantic, let's say, adoption only happened when leadership started to connect bonuses to the actual execution and the actual use of CRM. And now, obviously, that technology evolved and more marketing technology got connected to CRM, helping sales teams to be more effective with their efforts and initiatives. And now, obviously, you see AI. But the similar idea is happening in indirect sales. When we're dealing with partners, when we're dealing with brokers, depending on our industry, there are different names. But the same thing is actually happening. It's very hard to help account managers have a more strategic conversation with their partners. And a similar trend we see that happened in direct sales, we see in indirect sales, relationship. If you ask most of the account managers, what is the most important thing in your relationship or in achieving success with your partners, they are going to probably say, well, the relationship. And that is true. But today's markets are changing so rapidly. There's so much consolidation happening in several industries that partners expect a more professional approach. They expect to talk business, to talk objectives, to talk about how can we help each other and build a service and a product that basically helps the end customer in a total way. I mean, one of the things that I always remind is like this research that has been done that if you ask consumers why they are buying a car, an American study shows that 75% of the people tell them that CarPlay is basically the reason why they buy a car. So CarPlay as a partner of a car constructor is it is a very important driver for sales. So that end customer needs to have that entire, let's say, total solution. Now, I'm not going to talk about the other elements here that is necessary to drive adoption of a new way of working, OKRs or mutual success planning. That's not for now. I'm going to focus a little bit on the technology side of things. And if we dive into the technology side of things, the fundamental shift I'm expecting that is going to happen in terms of the role of the account manager, basically influenced by AI. If you look now on the job of an account manager, for the last decades, they are the ones who have all the data points. They know the relationship, they know the partner, they know also, if that partner is doing well or not. And it's based on these data points that we expect now that account managers do the analysis of these data points, make a right interpretation, and take decisions. Now, at least in my experience, most account managers, most sales, most partner managers, they are not analysts, right? And we do expect from them to do that analytical work. So what AI obviously can mean and will fundamentally transform the role of the account manager is when AI will take over of that analytical part. If we can tap into these data points, we can make that analysis for them. We can make the interpretation and suggest next best action based on that analysis. So the account manager and partner manager can spend more time having that strategic conversation and evaluating the options that are presented to them. It's a fundamental shift that I expect to happen in the coming years. If we take it one step further, it's basically similar to how for years we have been looking at transforming data into wisdom, and we thought that we needed dashboards to do that. We thought that we need analytics to do that in order to come to wisdom. And this is basically the fundamental shift that is happening. If we are able to tap into the raw data, we will be able to draw conclusions if you prompt it with the right business problem. So basically, what I expect to happen in the next years, if we can go to the next slide, is the transforming, or let's say the paradigm shift from thinking about system of records that gather data points that are then presented to a user, and that user needing still to solve a business problem. That world generates a low usage of that system of records because that system of record is not made to solve business problems. So you see that huge gap in adoption that we talked about earlier. So where I expect technology be heading towards is moving away from the concept of system of records that will be less relevant. It will be more about how can we tap into data sources, data warehouses. And I expect to have more and more AI business applications that will tap into that data and will solve specific business problems and will suggest next best actions in order to solve that business problem. So that's kind of, let's say, where I believe the future will be in terms of technology, and obviously where we see as Colabi then our role as one of these AI business applications to solve a specific business problem. So we see, and this is very briefly, we see three main phases in terms of our roadmap. First off, we would like to provide the account manager with smart updates where AI can help them to provide next best actions. The next step we see making a buddy, like an agent of the account manager, so that the account manager or partner manager can ask questions to that Colabi agent and prompt these business problems in a format that they would like. And the next step is how can we envision the similar idea, but then how can a partner prompt their business problems within an agent that is basically the extension of the vendor or the insurance company. That's basically how I see evolve the world. Obviously, a lot of things will be moving, Arnold. I mean, it's so many things are changing rapidly. But this is a future. Let's listen to some practitioners that are daily, faced with some of the challenges working with with account managers and partner managers.
Thank you, Fried, to tell us more from the technology perspective, because yeah, that's our focus here at Colabi. But we know that's only part of the story, and we do know that AI is going to be a big change. Yesterday, we were in Rotterdam talking to a customer about this shift to some sales leaders there, and it is a buzzword, but it's also a game changer for the industry. So I'm excited about that, but that's only part of the story. Now we want to focus a little bit more around the people and the process side of the changes and how you can really embed partner planning into your team's DNA. And I want to talk with Laurent Dollé. I work very closely with Laurent. He hears me way too much. Probably every couple of days we talk. And Laurent is the head of global partner programs at Alcatel-Lucent Enterprises. And maybe Laurent, can you please introduce yourself a little bit first and give some context with people that might not be as familiar with ALE as myself?
Yeah, okay. So thank you, Arnaud. Thank you, Free. And hello, everybody. So I'm Laurent Dollé, head of Global Partner Program. So Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise is providing communication network and cloud to the market to small, medium, and large enterprise. We are working since now many decades with an indirect model. So we are used to work with our partners in terms of executing our strategy, but also transforming, because the market is also transforming, moving from our side more from a legacy aspect of communication to a cloud X as a service. It's really new way of selling, and we need highly and our partner ecosystem to adapt on that. And this is really the key today. And of course, it's a journey. It's not something we'll do from today and tomorrow. So we are really pleased to work also with Colabi on that and to see and to learn how do we progress on those aspects.
Thank you, Laurent, for this introduction. I think you already scoped a little bit of the problem. Can you tell us more about like what are the challenges you're facing and how did you cope with those challenges?
Yeah, so the first one, I think you introduced it also. We have a partner ecosystem today of more than 3,400 partners. We are selling in more than 100 countries. We are shifting to a new way of selling, more cloud subscription. Of course, we want to co-invest with our partner, but on both sides, partner and ourselves, we want to have the best return on investment. We have different paths with different partners. Some are more in advance than others. So we need to take that into account, of course. And I think we need also to ensure that from a strategy plan standpoint, we are able to cascade this strategy along all the stakeholders, which is internally, but externally also with the partners and the customer. So this is really the key, is that it's a large ecosystem, lot of people involved, lot of stakeholders. How do we align all those stakeholders on the same goal and objective? And how do we execute with agility and fast reaction to any event we need to manage? So for that in ILE, we defined, and this is coming always, this is should be obvious, but coming from the top of the company. So we have the ILE strategy. So we are defining our strategic plan. So this is mainly strategic plan with all the different region, country in the world, where we define what is the strategy for the next 3 years. So we are developing a process for that with a framework which is based on 6P. 6P, I will give you two. Two are people and partners. We have four other: pipeline, promotion, whatever. But I think those two are key today in this discussion. How do we involve people and partners in executing our strategy? So for that, we are doing, as I said, 3-year strategic plan. Once this is approved, then we are going outside and we are going and we will discuss with our partners. And the key is to create the alignment between ILE and the partners. Of course, we are doing some selection previously of the partner which are more eligible to and more ready to support us on this 3-year strategy, because it's a matter of relationship, co-investment, engagement. So the key is really to create this alignment. So are we aligned in ILE and within the partner with the strategy, where we want to go, how much we want to invest, and at what pace we want to invest, and to grow the business together. So this is one of the elements. So this is key today. The second one is that when this is done, this is really the first step. Then we need to plan. what do we do exactly to support that? So it's a matter of setting up some objective. It's a matter of defining what type of activity, what is the timing, what is the investment on the ILE side, on the partner side. So this is really key in order to deliver the end result. And for that, of course, key in the execution, which is usually where we have the most difficulty today and facing. So how do we execute together, ensuring that we are aligned, we can react fast, every stakeholder are really updated at the same time on where we stand. For that, we are using today Colabi technology and platform. But what is important also in the center of this strategy is that we need first to ensure that within ILE, we have this culture of lead by example. So which comes from the top of the company, which is really showing day to day that partners are key, execution are key, and we need to develop our strategy. And for that, we need to have a discipline, we need to have process, tools, KPI, measurement, and follow up on that. And also, afterwards, you can imagine the number of people who are involved within ILE, in terms of sales enablement, in terms of marketing, in terms of different aspects of system expert, but also within the partner. And we need to ensure that all those people are connected and can discuss very, very fast and very often. I think what we had really as an issue also on that is, we had plan everywhere. So how do we control that? How do we ensure that we have consistency, and how do we gather the information in order to get lesson learned and then improve and manage best practices? Okay, so this is more on the overall process and to end. Then maybe we can go to what are the key factors of success. So there is really three: people, resources, processes. So I give you some of the highlights we decide to follow on ILE. So on people, we really focus on training the sales leadership. So we had a really active plan in order to train our sales leadership on two aspects. The first one, how can we have an executive C-level discussion with partners, and how can we have every ROI message together? So this is really key on the alignment. And the second one was more how the sales leadership can drive the performance through the sales organization, which is key also. This is big organization. We need to ensure that at the end of the day, the entire organization is focused on the same goals. We were doing also some playbook for the channel sales manager. So this is key. We need the leadership, but also the sales manager. So we map what I explained before in terms of overall process with a business planning process in 5 steps. So in order to ensure that this channel sales manager know really what are the different steps. We come back to the vision and then objective, activity, execution, follow up. So this is really key that both were aligned. I give you another example also is that if we want to drive everybody on that, you need to also to adapt your partner program. So we adapt also our partner program in order to create I think the conversation with the partner and to create also that, as you said, Arnaud, this is not something we do every semester or once a year, and then we discover that we have gaps.
Yeah.
We need to have recurrent conversation with that. Then we transform some of our program, and one is the performance incentive program we launched at ILE, which is once the partner achieves some targets, he gets some rewards, and that these rewards will be allocated in activities and in discussion in developing together the business. And this is creating the conversation on a day-to-day basis because this is very concrete. This is co-investment. So this is one element which is creating the conversation. The second one is that for 2025, we have done some segmented approach with our partners. So we have segmented our partners, those who are more today engaged with more capability to grow. And then for those, we are setting up a specific recognition towards the market. So they will be recognized as specific premium partners within ILE. And we are also providing them in the requirement of the program that depending on what is your segment, how much business you are doing with ALE, you will have to do a business plan with us. This is a firm requirement in the program. This is not something we do if we want. This is, you want to manage activities and business with ALE, you need to do that. Okay, so this is really key today from my standpoint, is that create also some program which are emulating the partner planning and then the tools and the platform. And we are in the world of digitalization, so we cannot do we need to manage information. We need to share information with the partner. We need to be, it's not weekly, it's real time. When an event happens, we need to be informed. We need to know whatever I think in the process where we stand, and for that we need a platform. So the platform is also a key enabler today of the agility, connecting the people, giving also transparency towards the entire organization. So today, for example, I am sales leader of a country. I'm managing today 200 partners within ALE. I go on the platform. I know exactly where I have partners who are committed to grow, what are the activities which are planned, how much we invest with those partners, are we in line with the plan, is there some gap? When I want to do a conversation with the channel manager, okay, I go directly in the platform. I don't have to ask the channel manager to prepare 1 week before all the material, gather the information. So this is also a key element which, at the end of the day, if you want to have adoption also from the people internally, you need to help them in their day-to-day job. And this is really key. And then maybe for the sake of time, because I think we can say a lot of things about that. Next step now is to integrate AI, of course. So we believe that with AI, we can bring a lot of support to our channel sales manager. We can bring a lot of information in order to help them and the partner to take decision. So this is really the next step we will invest is in the AI in order to ensure that things are very smooth. AI will help to detect where we need to act, but also to do benchmark, because when we have so many partners involved, we can learn from each other. So AI will help also to do benchmark on our side, and also to recommend to either any countries or any channel send manager what is the best way to handle this kind of problematic with the partners. And then to finish, because we will create also channel academy, because this is key also to continuously communicate, explain how do we bring value, to collect the feedback from the people and the partners on how can we help them in order to execute the strategy. So this is really key today.
Awesome, Laurent. Super interesting. I just want to summarize a few points because I thought you hit the nail on the head on a few points that I just want to make sure to emphasize. Is you started with talking about starting with a strategy, because that's going to be how you align with stakeholders. Is having a strategy defined as where you start. That makes sense. You translate that to plans, and I just looked up that quote from Eisenhower that says, "Plans are nothing. Planning is everything." And so, yes, plans are not. It's about execution at the end, and plans are going to help you align everybody, but the process is the important thing, and then executing it. And then on the execution part, you're diving deep on giving some tips here on how to do this, leading by example. I think that's working together. I think we see the importance of leadership being involved, and not just delegating it, but really taking the bull by the horns and really looking into it. And having some concrete, like I love the performance incentive program of Philippe Girard, who indeed is very concrete incentives for the partners. So thank you so much, Laurent, for these insights. If you have any questions about Laurent's talk, please put them in the chat, and we'll get to it later. Thank you, Laurent. Then moving on to Mathieu Van Buyten. We're moving from Strasbourg to Belgium, and from the technology industry to the insurance industry, because Mathieu Van Buyten is the distribution transformation manager at DELA Insurance Belgium. FYI, DELA was one of the first customers of Colabi. My team is working very closely with Mathieu. He hears from us very often as well with his team and the sales team, the partner collaboration team. Maybe Mathieu, for the ones that are not familiar with yourself and with DELA, can you please introduce yourself first and a little bit more about DELA?
Of course, of course. Thank you, Arnaud. Thank you, Free, and Laurent for the valuable insights. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Mathieu Van Buyten. I'm the distribution transformation manager at DELA Belgium, and that's a mouthful for someone who is responsible in the sales management team for professionalizing our distribution and guiding our sales teams through transformation. I assume that most of you are already heard of DELA, but for those of you who haven't, we are a niche insurance company, a small insurance company. We're active on the Belgian market. We're active in the Netherlands and in Germany as well. We have one product. We sell a funeral care insurance, and in that specific niche, we are the market leader, and we consider ourselves the specialists in funeral insurance. In terms of organization, sales organization, we have a omni-channel distribution model, which means we sell our product through multiple channels. We sell it online directly, so a customer can underwrite a policy on our website. We have a B2C team with dependent agents who visit the end customer, so who sell our product directly. And we have a B2B team, and our B2B team, on one hand, consists of a partnerships team. They are responsible. They manage the big accounts, partners like other insurance companies, large national insurance brokers. And we have a team of account managers who manage the broker channel. So my goal for today is to zoom in a little bit on the broker channel, and how we make partner planning part of our DNA in that specific channel. So talking about brokers, there are, to be very, very precise, 5,079 professional insurance brokers in Belgium. And we work with a lot of them. And we do that with one national sales manager and 8 account managers. So each of our account managers are managing between 350 and 450 insurance brokers. So that's a lot. So I think as in terms of introduction, that's what we do.
And no, thank you for the introduction. Many partners, just like at ALE. What are the challenges that you're facing with those brokers, Mathieu?
Well, to answer your question, maybe it's interesting to go back to my early days at DELA. I started in 2016 as an account manager myself, and back then we had a clear goal. We wanted to grow. We wanted to grow, and we had individual targets. And I remember my boss, our former sales manager, telling me, "Mathieu, consider yourself as an independent worker in your sector, in your region. So do whatever you think is necessary to achieve your goals and to get the results we wanted." And in fact, back then that worked perfectly. Because we were a team of very experienced account managers. We all came from bigger companies. We all had our network of brokers that we knew very well, that we worked closely with. So that worked. There was not really an issue. But when you look at it in a different way, there's a downside to working like that. You have the positive thing is that you have a lot of freedom, but the downside is that you create a lot of dependencies. You get to depend on your partners, and I think the Pareto rule was very present back then. So 20% of our accounts of our partners did 80% of the production. So we were highly dependent on them. Second thing, and there's an English saying that I put on the slide. So you can't milk a cow forever, meaning there's a certain limit to how much new business those very good partners can generate every year. So if you want to keep growing, if you want to have sustainable growth throughout the years, then you need to evolve. And the third thing is that, like Free already mentioned, the market is changing. The market of the insurance brokers, and we see a lot of consolidations. The smaller ones who we used to be more successful with historically, that were a little bit more dependent on us. They are the ones that stop or that sell their portfolio, or that are being bought by bigger ones where we never come on the first place. So that is those three considerations: the dependencies, the limits in production, and the fact that the market is changing. Led us to believe that we needed to adapt, we need to evolve, and we need to professionalize in order to secure that sustainable growth that we're aiming at.
So what worked yesterday is not going to work tomorrow. And how did you evolve that? How did you change that? What were the pillars of your change?
Well, two things, so we looked at the process and we looked at the people. And to zoom in on the process, first thing we did is we redefined our goals. So obviously we want to keep on growing, but we want to grow with the right brokers. So with a different type of brokers than we did a couple of years ago. So that's one thing. And the second thing is we really want to broaden the base. So we want to engage new partners, and we want to activate, not only engage them, we want to activate. We want to activate those new partners. So redefine those goals, and in order to achieve them, we needed to have a process in place that creates focus, because as I said before. Each account manager manages 350 to 450 brokers. So where do you start if you want to broaden the base? So first thing we did, and the first step we took was we mapped and we analyzed our resources. And we organized. So we asked ourselves some questions like, do we have the right people in the sales team? How much commercial time do we have with our salespeople? How do we organize? Is it the right way? How do we coach? How do we follow up? How do we know our clients? Do we know our brokers? Do we have the right data? Are they available? Are they accurate? And do we have the right technology? We have a CRM system. I think we have a good BRM system because we use Colabi. Do we have the right tools to measure, to analyze? So we mapped that. We organized those resources, and then in the second step, we defined what our commercial. We determined really what the commercial focus should be. So we really put in a lot of focus. I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but basically what we do is say what do we want to focus on, how do we want to use the available resources. For us, it's like three focuses there. What do we need to keep growing with the partners we have? That's the first focus. The second focus is how can we convert the low-hanging fruit, and how can we convince new brokers to work with us. And in terms of commercial time, we really said, okay, maybe we don't need that much time to keep what we have, and we can focus more commercial time on the converting and the convincing focus. So that's the second step. And then the third step, and that's when it becomes really interesting, is that we prioritize in especially in that third focus of searching new partners. Yeah, we try to figure out who are the brokers that are most likely to want to work with us, and what is the story, or what do we have to tell them to make sure they believe us and they want to work with us. So that's a really important question. So for that, to try to figure that out, we made a segmentation based on a large set of data. So we're still doing that. By the way, we're still gathering a lot of data. It's a day to day. It's a day to day thing we do. So we want a large set of data. We want the data to be accurate, and based on that data, that help our people to have the right conversations. We create like type of personas, types of brokers, with the same characteristics. And we created a playbook with sales pitches, to adapt it to each persona. And I'm going to give a really easy example. A broker mid-size that is financially oriented, and you have to have a sales pitch that emphasizes the financial advantages of our product, and maybe the harder part, and the tools we have for that. While a broker that is more caring, maybe is more likely to fall for the softer part of the product, the services we have, etc. So we have a playbook with sales pitches, that we that our account managers can use. And then we have tooling, and we use Colabi, and that's the first way, because we use it in two ways. We use it in the first way to really put in the focus, the priorities, and we have something like Colabi has a very smart way of using filters and changing views, and we created something we call a broker like you. And you can really compare it to when you go online and you sell you buy shoes. You get a message. People like you. You might also like this T-shirt and that trousers. It's a little bit based on what you do, on your behavior, on your characteristics. You might be interested in that, and that's what we created, or are creating with Colabi. That kind of predictability, a broker with that characteristics, that doesn't produce today, looks a lot like that broker in your region who does produce today, and that you have convinced with that kind of story. So that's basically the high over the process we put in place to really guide our people towards focus and priority.
Yeah, thank you. Like the focus on focusing and deciding who do you want to work with, because at the end you want to make decisions, right? And starting from a strategy and then making focus and segmenting and leveraging data for this. Mathieu, what was the impact? I know we're still in the middle of it, but do you have first numbers around impact?
Yeah, well, we maybe first what we did with the people, because I talked about the process very fast. We had a project with the people also, and we want them to evolve from firefighters to strategic partners. For that, we train them. We make sure they understand the strategy. We break it down in key tasks. We define success together, and we organize the work in sprints, and that's important. So we are very close on keeping the focus and keeping the priorities. So we ask our teams to work in sprints of 2 weeks, visiting a specific type of broker, and then come back with the feedback: what went well, what went wrong, what can we learn, how can you inspire your colleagues. So that's the process we put in place, and The third, the second from the right block on the screen is important. We made partner planning part of their of our account managers day to day business. So that's the second part, the second use of Colabi. They make mutual success plans. So not only did we put in the strategy, but we enabled them to make a year sales plan. To make individual sales plans with the brokers, to share them, to collaborate on them, to make it a mutual success plan, to really involve them and create an accountability that we need, that we need with the bigger and more professional brokers. So that's what we put in place for the people, and in terms of results, we're still in the middle of this, so it's an ongoing thing, but it has a very positive effect on the people. You see that our people are evolving into professionals who are able to translate the global strategy, break it down into smaller pieces, and translate it to their own sector. You see that if you coach them so closely on keeping them focused, keeping them on the right priorities, they do the right things at the right time with the right brokers. So they're really more focused. They know more. We boost knowledge. They feel more comfortable, more confident to have a really professional, data-driven conversation. So yeah, professionalism increases, and we are in terms of results, we keep growing. So we measure that every day. So we still going strong, and we are sure that we have now a strong foundation to keep growing and to really broadening our base.
Mathieu, I think your story that started with how you were working before, which was not really a focused approach, to a more focused approach and defining your strategy and rolling the tactics out of from that strategy is something we see in a lot of customers, probably something that a lot of people here can relate to. And I really liked your approach that is focused on putting the right process in place, defining your persona, leveraging the data to define your personas and find the partners that are more like them, and to be able to have to provide the account managers in your teams really the right information to be able to be the most efficient and productive with their time, and to train them in the right way to do this. So thank you very much, Mathieu. I think this was eye opening, and I think this story is very recognizable. Now we're going to move. We'll take another few minutes. I know we started a little bit late, so let's take another 5 minutes to do some questions. And one question we received is already for you, Mathieu, because it's around the people part. And that you touched upon it, but I would like to dive a little bit deeper on. It's a natural instinct. People are sometimes resistant to change, right? How do you help people embrace that change and not make it feel more threatening? Because it's a different way of working, right? You explained how you were working before. It's a total shift. Mm-hmm. How do you have some tips for our viewers on how they can bring maybe the people that are more resistant to change into this story with them?
Yeah. If I look at how it's organized with us, we have a very experienced team in Wallonia. We have a pretty new team in Flanders, so it's a little bit easier in Flanders because they started in this process. But I think key is to really have them understand why. What is the goal? Why are we doing that? How can it help you in the way you work? So our account managers, the most experienced ones, they see the evolution in the market. They got a bit frustrated about it's not working like it was before, and I had a big producer, and now he's gone. He's bought by another one, and I don't know him. So we really focused on getting them to understand why we wanted to
Mm.
change the way we work. And then, yeah, in terms of strategy, in terms of goals, we really break it down into small pieces, and we do a lot of things together. We define success together. It's really bottom up. So that's how we do it, and that's how we feel that they follow us in what we want to do.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Is involving them. I think if you are involved in the change process, it's going to be much easier, right? So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Mathieu. Maybe a last question for Laurent. Laurent, you are from a global organization, right? ALE. How do you make sure that this process is adopted across regions, from the process side and from the people side? Do you have any tips on what you can do from to bring such a large amount of people with you in this change?
But first of all, I think adoption remains global for everybody. So of course, there is some cultural where, for example, in Germany, we have
Yeah,
much more easiest way to do adoption than in other countries. So it's really cultural. But at the end of the day, we share also overall how all the countries are performing. We are fully transparent on sharing best practices, or how do which region progress in the adoption versus other, what are the best practice, how can we share with them. And we are doing also it's matter of communication, huh? So we
yeah,
come back to the why Mathieu was explaining, and recurrent communication, closed loop, see how we can help them to solve their day-to-day issue, and help them to develop I think the partnership locally. So this is really key to put us as we are not asking us as them to do something. We are asking them how can we help them to do better their job. So this is really every question is not about the platform or whatever, or its use case. So what is the
yeah,
value I will bring if I put this use case on the platform, and if it's helping locally the channel sales manager, then you will get adoption, then you will use it. And this is
exactly.
really key. We see that because previously our behavior was more to, as we are global, asking where do you stand, give me report, what is your plan, whatever, and this is not working. So
No,
we need really to bring value to them and help them bring aggregate information, benchmark information, tips on how to do things better or whatever, and this is helping. And this resonate to people more than follow up on where do they stand. So this is totally change of how you can mirror how to work with local regionally.
Laurent, what you're saying is funny because it's exactly what you're asking from your partner managers to shift to their relationship to the partners. You're doing internally from being reactive to being proactive,
Yeah,
from instead of like, what can you do for me? What can I do for you? And really being that trusted advisor to your internal stakeholders. And you see indeed in Germany, in your organization, it's working really well. I think also for cultural reasons, but I think there's some learnings there to take. Thank you so much to both of you. I think we're out of time. So I want to, first of all, I want to thank very much Laurent Dollé and Mathieu Van Buyten for sharing their insights. I think it was super interesting. We will share a summary of today as well as some supporting materials on this webinar. So keep track of it. I think we'll send it on LinkedIn. So thank you again, and we'll share some material. I also want to thank Free and the organizing team, Kirill and Anila, for organizing this. And I want to thank you for watching, and I wish you a great day, everybody. Thank you.